listening to you.
I just want you to know
The truth, the tea.
Hello. So I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with a jump off. Goons in the club. In case something jumps off. Nothing should jump off in the club actually right now. For those of y'all that don't know, shaved my side. I did this a while ago actually. But I actually just got picked up by my homie John Parker. Shout out to JP for hooking me up. I want to redo my braids though. I can't lie because I really want to do them smaller. I didn't want them this chunky, but I do like the length. You know, they're pretty long. They go down to like, one goes down my butt crack. So that's what I wanted. I wanted them to go down to my butt crack. Anyways, so thank you. I wanted to come and talk to y'all because I haven't been making videos in a little bit, and I've been having weird problems with YouTube, so I hope that's like no longer an issue when I go to upload this. But I really feel like, you know, people are bugging on my blog, but I just want to say some things because I feel like sometimes like when you can't speak, you try to write and it just comes out however it comes out. And I just feel like I'm going through a transition right now in my life where I'm really like exploring like gender expressions and gender in general. And I feel like if you're still stuck trying to be like super femme as a person, or like super mask or whatever, or like you're like happy with your gender, and I see that a lot. I see that like people say like if you're happy with your gender, you know, you're a minority or whatever, and like you shouldn't, like people shouldn't listen to your opinions. And it's just like, when an individual is like dealing with like trans identity, thank you, you like, your opinion doesn't fucking matter. Like I hate to say that, but it's true. Because I mean, I don't really hate to say it, it's the truth. Me going through like my transition, it has nothing to do, I'm not even going through a fucking transition. That's the craziest part. It's like I'm just like I'm like no longer like trying to explore super femme anymore. And like I think that bothers people because like a lot of my followers showed up because I was trying to like be like a fine ass fat bitch, and like I am, but at the same time like that's not just me, or rather that's not who I am. And it's fun to get dressed up, it's fun to wear makeup, but I think at the same time I think I'm really just like exploring things that, you know, could make people uncomfortable. And I see that people are getting upset at me calling myself trans, but that really doesn't have anything to do with them, nor does it have anything to do with me. Like, as RuPaul said it best, what other people think of me is none of my damn business. So, you know, I really can't worry about what someone else thinks about what I'm doing. But I will say that it's like, it's difficult already trying to deal with people talking about white supremacy and getting especially white people to understand where I'm coming from. But it's also really hard when I'm dealing with people who are like trying to invalidate my trans identity because they don't feel like I'm trans enough. And I feel it the same way when I, you know, was exploring queerness and like really calling myself queer and identifying as a queer person. I just felt like there was a lot of backlash there, and it's just like, wow, like I really cannot stand exclusivity. I really cannot stand when people try to make it seem like because you're already oppressed with X, Y, and Z, you adding on another oppression is something that like you chose to do. Because I know that there is someone that reached out to me and they were like, I'm a queer person of color, and I'm like dealing with that, and like it's just hard for me to deal with all that oppression, and then added to it me coming out as trans, or rather me not identifying as trans because I still don't feel like I want to take on that oppression. Like, that's such violence. Like, that person is experiencing violence. And people only see violence as an act of like a physical thing, but like when you are silenced, when you cannot express, like that is violence, and people just are not understanding that, so they continue to commit violence against people, especially queer people of color. Especially queer people of color who are genderqueer. or transgender. And by not understanding like someone's struggle and by conflating it with them wanting to be a victim, it's really fucked up, because it's like, by telling me that me calling myself trans or me identifying as trans is like me wanting to be a victim, like explore that, explore how you victimizing me means I want to be a victim, you know? Because it's like, if you're telling me that by identifying as this I'm automatically going to be targeted, why are you targeting me? Why are we not looking at people who are targeting people of color who are trans? Specifically talking about myself and my own experience with just like coming out as trans, and really talking about my experience, and having a bunch of people flood my dashboard as if my blog is not, you know, archivable, as if you could not read. It just really bugs me that like I have to constantly tell people my pronouns are still she, but I do respond to they. I do appreciate being called they, and I appreciate people who hold space for my identity. But like, if you don't want to identify me as trans, then like, okay, like cool. But I'm also having an issue with people who are like outing my transness, like as if like this is some sort of fucking tokenization. Like, don't fucking do that shit. Don't do that to me, because then I have people in my inbox being like, oh, like, do you have a dick? Are you M to F? Like, all these questions about my genitalia, which is also a form of transphobia. So it's like, why are you so concerned with what the fuck is in my pants? One. And number two, why the fuck can't you read? Why the fuck can't you, like, go back into my blog and really like read? Like, I don't understand why people can't do that, and I don't think it's asking too much, especially when a blog, especially my blog, is very much a diary, very much a platform to yell and scream and rant, and very much a place for me to share myself and be transparent. So I would just appreciate it if people just like didn't bombard me with questions, asking me like really personal things, especially being anonymous and like asking me if I have a dick or if like, or what my pronouns are. If you want to know, bitch, get yourself a fucking profile and ask me, because I don't understand why the fuck you need to be anonymous to ask someone a question about their fucking gender, unless you're not trying to come for them. Because unfortunately, because there are so many people who are transphobic, I don't understand how it's not understandable that someone who's trans, or even someone, damn, that fly was big, or even someone, fuck, what did I even say? That fly made me forget what the fuck I was saying. That was a very big fly. It just like, it makes me bug out, because like, you know, when I was living in my old apartment with my roommates, a lot of them were trans, and like at first, like I remember struggling with their identities, because I saw them as femme, I saw them as women, I saw them as how I wanted to, because I objectified them. And I think a lot of that was like my own trans like phobia, where I didn't want to see anyone as masculine if their body wasn't masculine, and I didn't want to see them as femme if their body wasn't femme, or femme enough or masc enough, because I didn't want to be characterized as that, because I was too busy trying to pass with my wigs. And I don't know why I did quotes, because like that's truly what it was. You know, wearing wigs made me feel like I was passing. Wearing longer hair makes me feel like I can pass. And don't get me wrong, I definitely wore my natural hair out in New Orleans, and I'm sure I passed a lot, but I think at the same time, there were questions, you know, about my transness, and it's just like so crazy how like as soon as you tell someone that you're a trans person, they immediately want to know, do you have a penis? Like, there's like this dick envy with trans people, or rather this absence of a penis of someone, or rather this like idea that like because of whatever I was assigned to at birth, like you need to know. And not only that though, but like looking back in my archives and clocking me as fish and, you know, being like, "Oh, girl, you are tricking me, you are fooling me, you look like a real woman." It's like, whoa, what does a real woman look like, you know? Like, I just feel like there's just so many things going on in the community, especially the queer community, that people are not addressing when they talk to trans people, and I think that that's something that people need to really research and look up. And there are lots of links on my blog, and also permaculture links, because I've been like really getting into permaculture lately. And not to say that like trans issues is something I'm getting into recently, but it's something about myself that I'm identifying with recently, and I'm actually wanting to be supportive of, and actually wanting to like talk about, because before I was like hella transphobic. Like a while ago, people called me out for being transphobic because someone asked me if I was trans. Like, a lot of people were like, "Are you trans? Are you trans? Are you trans?" Assuming that I was an M to F because of the amount of makeup I was wearing. And that's really fucking, like, that's problematic as fuck, because again, you could not clock someone. You don't know if someone's cis, you don't know if someone's trans. So, and again, please feel free to look up these words, like, educate yourself. Like, it'll mean more. It doesn't mean anything if I'm telling you the definitions of these words. That's you're not even gonna absorb that. You need to go out and look up these words. Like, you need to go and read. Like, that's gonna help you. And I think that people get upset with me because I don't want to like walk them through shit, especially white supremacy. And I think it's like, whoa, it's like, do you know how hard it is to find information on like anything relating to white supremacy, like some real good shit by POC? Do you know how hard it is to find that shit? It's very hard. And it's very hard because it's not given enough props, therefore it's not getting enough, you know, shine. And like when things don't get enough shine, people don't really see it, don't pay no mind. And I just remember, like, for a long time, like, I looked at social justice as, like, very discredited and very, like vitriolic and cruel. But at the same time, I was always fascinated by the information I was seeing from blogs that, like, did a lot of, like, bashing of white people and whiteness. And I just was like, whoa, like, I'm reading some really good stuff. And I was just, like, going, like, damn, like, you know, all these white people are so sad. And I was feeling bad for them. But that's part of white privilege, is feeling bad for white people about clocking royalty. You feel me? So it's like, damn, you know, like, they got me again. You know what I mean? White people got me again. They got me feeling bad for them about some real shit. And that's the thing. Like, I can't get caught up in, like, a white person crying to me about how they're not like that and shit like that. Because I don't give a fuck. I think it's done. Like, I'm not here to, like, find good and bad white people. I'm not here for that shit. Because as you can see, there's not enough of y'all good white people because the system is fucking everybody up. So it's like, you know what? I ain't sitting here trying to look for the one white person holding some space for me. I'm not looking for that. That's not something I need. You feel me? Like, I don't need a white person being my friend and being all up in my fucking grill and, like, you know, patronizing me, you know, for the shit I'm saying. You should want to be a person that is an ally to POC. You should want to be smashing of the fucking white supremacist system. You should want to fucking break down the patriarchy. You should want to do that shit. You shouldn't feel guilted into doing that shit. You should feel like, you know what? They're saying some real shit right now. They're talking about their real experiences. I, as a white person, don't need to invalidate those things by telling them that I'm a good white person. Because essentially, what the fuck am I saying? Am I saying right now to this person who is, like, subjected to the system over and over and over again that, like, out of all this bullshit, I'm the one white person that feels you? You know what I mean? What the fuck is a I feel you? You know what I mean? What the fuck is a I feel you? Really, in the scheme of things, it's not worth too much. So that's why, like, if you're a white person and you feel me, cool. But I don't really care. You know, it's not like I'm gonna sit here and give you a fucking shout out, because I'm not. You know, it's visibility is important, and I do appreciate white allies, but I'm not sitting here fucking hoping that all these white people are gonna fucking want to be rushed to my side and be an aid to me, because I don't see that shit happening. And it's really sad, but it's like, it's real. You know what I mean? I've met enough white people to know that, like, a couple white allies ain't enough. You feel me? And a lot of motherfuckers is just gesturing out here. So I just want to be real about like my intentions. Like my blog is really just for me, and like it is very much a personal blog. If you really don't want to be there, just leave, you know, just go away, because I'm going to continue to talking about trans issues. I'm going to continue talking about white supremacy. I'm going to continue for showcasing black excellence. I'm going to continue talking about black power. I'm going to continue to say fuck the police. I'm going to continue to talk about the inequalities of fucking money and wealth distribution. I'm going to continue to talk about capitalism and all of its evil. I'm going to still keep doing that shit. So if that's bothering you, if that's vexing your spirit, then it's time for you to leave. Okay, it's time for you to go, because it's not gonna get better, bitch. It's not going to get better than this. It's really not. And I just don't have time for it. I just don't have time. Come here. Come here, little dog. This is my little dog. He's not really that little, but still, me and this nigga goes hard, okay? This nigga's not here for your white tears. Don't lick me. Don't lick me, nigga, because, yuck. But, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say to all of you white people out there that are feeling some type of way. But I hope that you do leave and maybe find a place where people can like coddle you more and treat you better. And I also want to say that like all the people that think that like this is a phase of my life, I fucking guess. You know what I mean? I fucking guess that that's what you want to see it as, bitch. Let this phase live on long and long and longer. And as long as it can. Because this is the most beautiful phase of my life, where I'm really feeling at peace with myself, and when I'm really feeling like I'm doing something with my audience that is not something that people fucking, one, give a shit enough about, and two, have the fucking balls to talk about. People are out here scared as fuck, and I understand being scared. I'm scared. But I'm not so scared that I'm going to sit here and be quiet and rest on my laurels and not come at y'all the way I'm coming at y'all, because people be sleep about this white supremacy shit. People be quiet about it. And I had a friend actually recently that I had to like kind of get away from. I have a couple people that I actually got to get away from, because I really can't be around you if you're going to sit up here and uphold like whiteness and white privilege and white supremacy in front of me and think we're going to be coup de la, because it's not going to happen like that. And you can think I'm angry, because I am. I am angry. I'm upset about oppression. I'm upset about being oppressed in so many ways, because I'm oppressed in so many ways. And you know, I've talked a lot about my oppression as a fat woman, and I've talked a lot about my oppression as a queer woman, but I haven't really talked about my oppression as a trans person, and I haven't really talked about my oppression as someone who is, you know, is at the bottom of the capitalist system, that is really like, you know, struggling and like trying to make it look fabulous, but struggling nonetheless, and, you know, trying to make a way with all of my resources that I can muster, but also with, you know, new ways of thinking. And I just want everybody to know, you know, it's still me. I didn't change. Like, I didn't become a trans person. I've always been a trans person. That's why it's called transgender and not transgendered, because it didn't happen to me. I've been this way. I think it's more like I'm actually like flourishing and really finding myself. So I appreciate you for being here on the journey, but I don't expect any of you to understand. And I really don't expect any of you to research anything. But I think if you respect me, and you respect yourself, and you respect humanity, and you respect people of color who are trying to be transparent about their experiences, you will research, and you will hold space for me, and you will do things that are in your best interest and mine. And that is equality, but that is also not talking shit about the way things are right now to get people to really fucking listen.